Hi, and welcome to Urban Botanical. This week's episode is going to focus on terrariums. I made these two small terrariums about 2 months ago. They are small and simple and were very inexpensive to make, and they are looking really well. The glass containers together only cost a few pounds and came complete with cork ball lids. You can pick these up from your local thrift store. They are made from crystal clear glass and are perfect for closed terrariums. The beauty of a closed terrarium is that it's basically a propagator, so there is no need to use complete plants. You can simply plant small cuttings from a mother plant, and 9 times out of 10 they will root and flourish without any problems. They are very low maintenance and will only require watering once or twice a year, with maybe a little pruning of some plants to stop them overgrowing the container. You can save even more money by using leftover glass containers from candles or food products. Including the cost of the glass, these two terrariums cost less than £10 to make and will provide years of viewing pleasure. They also make wonderful gifts for friends or family. I will now show you the plants that I'm going to use in both the terrariums. I also collect moss from the garden, much of which the birds have thrown down from our roof in search of insects. These cushion moss species do very well in a terrarium and are free. I have a large stock of mother plants for these projects, which are kept in small windowsill propagators. This acclimatises them to the humid conditions and ensures I always have suitable plants available to take cuttings from. They are generally very cheap from garden centres and are available in tiny 7cm pots. We are aiming to build a sort of miniature bonsai garden, so only tiny cuttings are required. I will make a video in the future explaining which plants do well in these projects and how to take cuttings. To help provide scale to our arrangements, you can use various materials sold in aquatic stores to provide a hardscape element. For these two terrariums, I use tiny pieces of rock and a piece of cork bark. I buy large pieces, then break them up to the size I require. This means each project only costs a few pennies to hardscape, with plenty left over for future builds. First of all, make sure you have a clean glass container free from chemicals or food residue. We then need to add a false bottom. This is similar to the layer we use when repotting other plants. Alternatively, I have used horticultural grit, which also works well. It provides a safety net which can store water away from the planting medium in the event of accidental overwatering. It's not essential, but it's good practice. Just a small amount is ideal for these jars, though you might want to go a little bit deeper for larger jars. Next, we place the soil over the false bottom. Make sure you use specific terrarium plant medium. Ordinary houseplant soil will not support plant life long term in a terrarium and will eventually turn stagnant. Soilninja make a very good terrarium mix, but I made these using an older mix I discovered before Soilninja came to my attention. About an inch depth at the front, ramping up to around 2 or more inches at the back, creating a slope that increases the sense of depth. These mixes are free draining and airy but moisture retentive. They also contain activated carbon to soak up pollutants and stop the soil going sour. This medium does not contain any form of fertiliser, so plants will grow slowly, which is exactly what is required in a small confined environment. Then decide on the position of your hardscape. You can play around with positioning until you find a layout that appeals to you. You can leave the hardscape in while you plant, but sometimes it does help to remove it to give yourself more working space and then replace it when planting is complete. First, I'm putting the moss inside and just cutting off any excess soil that's underneath. little sticks that I'm using here are what come with the plants with the labels on. I just found that they're perfect just to press things down. I will now start adding all the plants, and I'll pop the names up so you know which ones I'm using. If you decide to add a fern to your terrarium, you will also need to include a little bit of the root as well. Increase the sense of depth by placing larger plant species towards the back and smaller specimens in the foreground. Once you've decided where you would like to plant it, then just gently press it down. As the same as the fern, the pilea would also benefit from roots as well. Once you've added all the plants, then ensure that you give it a really good spray. I did go back and give this extra spray as well. The aim is to make the mix moist but not soggy. You definitely do not want to see any pooling in your base layer. I will now follow the same process with the larger terrarium. Due to not facing the front of the terrarium, I hadn't noticed that I hadn't pushed down the turner far enough into the soil. So once off camera, I did actually push it further down. Well, that's our terrariums all finished. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Perhaps the information has been of some use to you. If it has, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so YouTube can alert you whenever I upload a new video. I will continue to play the rest of the video out with some recent builds. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon.